MSI's Delta 15 is the first gaming laptop featuring AMD's new RX 6700M graphics, and it's also in a thinner and lighter design too. But unfortunately, this does result in some negative trade-offs that you need to be aware of before considering this machine. The most annoying thing to me was the flipped motherboard. When you open it up, you only get access to the battery and Wi-Fi 6E card. If you want to access the two memory slots or two M.2 slots for storage, you have to take out some cables and flip the motherboard over. I can only guess that this is some kind of trade-off in order to get the machine this thin. And look, to be fair, it wasn't that difficult to actually take the motherboard out and upgrade it. It's just more annoying and time consuming than it otherwise would be with another laptop. So just something to be aware of if you do plan on upgrading this device. And speaking of it being thin, it's too thin for an Ethernet port. All things considered, the rest of the ports were otherwise pretty decent, but yeah, you'll be sticking to either Wi-Fi or a USB Ethernet dongle here. And although we've got USB Type-C ports, there's no Type-C charging here, which is a feature that I would expect to see with a laptop that aims to be thinner and more portable. Type-C charging would have let you take a smaller power brick with you if you don't need more performance when on the go. But as that's not an option here, unless you want to run on battery, you'll be forced to take the larger 240 watt power brick with you. There was some wobble to the screen. It's not quite HP Victus levels, but yeah, it was something I noticed when picking up the laptop or accidentally bumping it. That said, it wasn't something I noticed while typing on the keyboard or using the laptop normally. So in the real world in practice, I don't think that's going to be that big of a problem. I guess I was a little surprised to see that given the all aluminum design of the Delta 15. For the most part, it does feel pretty sturdy, but I guess even when using metal, you're going to have to use less materials in order to get a thinner and lighter laptop. The only other problem I had with the build quality was the down arrow key. Now this is probably something that's just wrong with my unit, but pressing it felt weird compared to the other keys, and I had to press it harder in order for it to actually work properly. But again, I would expect that just to be a problem with this review unit. I doubt that's just how they're shipping them. To be fair, the Delta 15 did come with the faster X8 memory compared to the slower X16 stuff that we've seen in most laptops this year. So maybe you don't have to get in there and flip the motherboard to upgrade the memory, unless you want more capacity, or more storage space. Unfortunately, there's no muck switch here, and in general, I found gaming performance of the RX 6700M graphics to fall somewhere between NVIDIA RTX 3060 and 3070 graphics, though it can of course vary quite significantly based on the specific game. But I will be doing full comparisons between the 6700M and both the 3060 and 3070 over on the main channel. Outside of gaming, when it comes to content creation, AMD's RDNA 2 just doesn't seem as good for content creator workloads compared to NVIDIA alternatives. In my usual Adobe Photoshop, Premiere, and DaVinci Resolve tests, it's consistently scoring lower compared to cheaper last-gen laptops. Another problem that I had with this laptop was the software. The control center to manage the laptop is called MSI Center, and basically multiple times a day it just didn't open at all. In order to fix this, I had to keep going into apps and features in Windows and repair the program in order for it to open. So hopefully MSI update that in future, as that was quite annoying. Now that said, maybe they already have done it, because I actually haven't noticed it happen for the last few days. But yeah, I thought it was still worth mentioning. This is still a relatively new model, so maybe it's just early growing pains. Otherwise, I found the Radeon drivers stable. I tested this laptop in 13 games at all setting levels, and I didn't have any games crash or anything like that. Alright, so those were the main problems that I had with the Delta 15. Now let's discuss what was good. The battery life in this laptop was insane, lasting for more than 11.5 hours in the YouTube playback test. One of the best results I've ever recorded from any gaming laptop. The screen was decent, it's got good color gamut and response time. Brightness was okay at around 300 nits, which is fairly average, but it's starting to feel a bit meh these days in a world where 500 nit options are becoming more common. As we saw earlier in games, the RX 6700M did do quite well, and with its 10 gigs of VRAM, it might be particularly useful at 1440p in games that do demand more VRAM. Just like plenty of other MSI gaming laptops, you can enter this epic cheat code to get into the advanced BIOS, and there's basically unlimited customization available here. You're only going to want to change stuff that you actually understand so you don't break the laptop. But yeah, if you're an enthusiast and want to tweak your machine, there's a lot of options in here. Far more compared to most other gaming laptops I've tested. Overall, the Delta 15 does offer pretty good gaming performance while coming in at a smaller size, and it's currently available for around $1,600 US on sale at Best Buy. So it's a bit more than some 3060 models like say Lenovo's Legion 5, but the 6700M does also generally outperform the 3060. If the Delta 15 is priced near a 3070 laptop, I'd probably just get the 3070 as that does perform better. But if the Delta 15 is priced close to a 3060 laptop, this probably makes more sense. If you can get a 3060 for $100 or $200 less than this though, then the 3060 might be better value. Check out my full review of the Delta 15 on the main channel over here if you want even more details, as I go into far more depth in that review. Check out this one if you want to see how well it performs in 13 different games at all setting levels. And if you're new here, then make sure you get subscribed subscribe to both of my channels for more laptop reviews like this one.